So welcome back. My name's Jess. Wanted to talk with you about being leaders in our family. And I think about a situation where, let's say you are the boss at your work and you try to set up a certain type of culture in your work. So you want things to be positive, you want people to be productive, you want all those things to go well. Your motivation obviously is to make money, for your business to go well, your work to go well, your office to go well. But I want to talk about is being a leader in your home. One of the starting points for that is being the spiritual leader. And things that come to mind for me is taking the lead, whether you talk with your spouse about it or not, but taking the lead on things that are spiritual in your home. For example, sit down to dinner together instead of sitting in front of the TV. Sit down and open in prayer. Even if you don't know how to pray, just give it a shot. Kind of start it off with Dear God or Dear Lord and end it with Amen, and put whatever you like in the middle. Something that I like to do in my home is I do like to ask family members if there's something that they want me to pray for. Currently, my 16-year-old just tells me volleyball and school, and those are things that are important to him. So I'm happy to add that in there. The other level that you can do as a spiritual leader in your home is obviously would be getting involved in some type of Bible study or men's group, taking your family to church. Find a good church that fits and is good for your family. And I know that there's folks that watch this channel that you may not be a Christian, and that's okay. But I did want to recommend to model Christ-like behavior. So if you know anything about Jesus, you would know that one of the most important commandments to Jesus was to love God and then love your neighbor. And so one of the things that we can do as men and leaders in our home is to be loving, to be compassionate, to forgive. Something that I was thinking about was if you were coming home and you had a tough day, maybe don't get out of the car just yet. Sit there. If you're like me, you're in Phoenix and it's only like 98 degrees today, so it's a little bit cooler. Just sit there in the AC and just kind of get your mind right before you go inside. Maybe think about the things that you need to talk with your family about, or things that are going on with the different members of your family, especially if you did carve out that dinner time. So I'm just recommending a pause and just being that loving, attentive, compassionate person, and you can lead the charge with that. Emotional. I just said I was thinking about how, as fathers, husbands, as men, that we want to create a stable and safe home. I think that we want to make sure that family members felt heard, that they feel safe to be able to talk about things. I, especially as a father, really want my sons to be able to talk to me about anything. And that includes the birds and the bees conversations, which I've had with both of my boys. I think it's really important for all of your family members, your spouse, to be heard. And sometimes when you come home, maybe you don't start talking, maybe you just start listening. And that might be tough. Me, I'm like a professional talker practically. And so I guess my recommendation there is sometimes just listen. And that can really be valuable. So, and by the way, if there's like single men out there, listen. Listen's like one of the key things you can do when you're out on a date. That's really smart. Okay, be present, be engaged. One of the things that I always respect a lot about my dad, he's passed now a couple years ago, but I think about, for example, I had a paper route, and my dad would come out and do the paper route with me. And gosh, I did it for many years, but there was a point in time where I bought my own car, and he would still come out and do the paper route with me. And I realized later on what he was trying to do was just spend time with me and talk and give me guidance and advice and let me be able to talk to him. So being present, being engaged, know their activities, know what's going on in their life. I don't care if you have to have notes on it, you know, instead of being so focused on what's going on in your life with your work or whichever it is, saying, "Hey, I'm bringing home the money for the family and supporting the family." It's like, yeah, well, you also need to support them emotionally. The other one that I wanted to talk about was encouragement, and so this is just because of my situation that made me think about this, and not that it's not for everybody. But I have a son that's in college, and he has a dream of becoming a dentist. And the schoolwork that he does is pretty challenging. But I'm convinced that he's a smart enough guy that he can do this. If he perseveres and he keeps working at it, he can do this. And he's got himself involved as in the pre-dental club. He went on a mission to Guatemala and did dental work down there. Obviously not as a dentist, but assisting. And he works as a dental assistant. And then I got my other son, again, a guy in high school, and the focus in his life is right now is volleyball. This guy's like 6'4", so he's a pretty big dude. But volleyball's a big thing in his life. He also has dreams of wanting to possibly do something medical, and I've always told him, like, well, if you're going to do something medical, that means you need a college degree. If you need a college degree, then they're going to want good grades from high school. And that started back when you were 14 in your freshman year of high school. So, but here's my point, is encouragement, is letting them know just these simple lines of saying, I'm proud of you. Sorry, I get choked up there thinking about it. It's just saying that you're proud, and let them know that you love them. You're doing a great job. Those are things that I think about that are really powerful. And then I'm going to add something that I could do better at, is saying that to my wife. How easy is it for me to take her for granted? And how easy is it for us to just take our wives for granted? So giving them words of encouragement too, even if they may be surprised by it, they may be pushed back on you saying that. And I'm just recommending is listen. Don't give the encouragement. Well, it got so hot out here in Phoenix that my camera overheated and I had to stop. So that was a sign for me to get back into the air conditioning and back into my car here. But I just wanted to encourage us, for men out there, that we be the leaders in our home, take bold step, bold action, to be the spiritual leaders, to model a Christ-like behavior, be engaged, be plugged in, provide that stable environment for the people that are in your family and in your home. And I hope that this video is giving you a little bit of guidance or help. And if you would, let me know what are things that you do to be that leader in your home. Share those ideas here with this community. And thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here. I hope the good Lord is blessing you. Take care.